remember when there has been a class action case tried. I mean, really. We did the Enron. We did all of the Enron class action securities. We do huge numbers of securities cases, mass tort drug cases. We're doing Zyprexa. We did Fen-Phen. We did Resolin. So wherever there is a bad drug, multiple injury case, we end up not only settling but also handling the allocation. What has happened in the U.S. is when you have plaintiff lawyers representing large numbers of injured parties, when they try to allocate the fund themselves, they ended up getting sued because there was obviously a conflict of interest, because there wasn't separate representation for each 8,000 members of the injured group, because all their injuries were different. So we do a lot of allocation between, and set up matrices and set up processes for the allocation of the funds among the plaintiff group. And we've done it in drug cases, we've done it in environmental cases.
And that's something for right now. It's limited probably just to the U.S. I think,
yes.
Not just because of you folks, but also because I think the class action tool, it's just for this type of injury, isn't usually available outside the U.S.
That's as I understand. GE.
Any experiences with us in mediation that you can tell us about? This is
Yes, I know that we have handled a number of GE cases. GE is very sophisticated in the use of ADR, in the selection of neutrals, and I think has always prided itself on being sophisticated and advanced in using ADR. So we know that when you go in the room with GE, they're going to know what to do, how to act, how to effectively be an advocate in a mediation, which, as you know, is different than being in court. And mediation advocacy, I know you teach it, and I know others teach it. It's different. You are the story of going into a mediation and asking the attorney to kind of give his opening, and when he starts by saying that the other side had been paddling down the river of deceit, that's when the mediator raises his hand and says, wait a minute, that's not really what we meant by mediation advocacy. But I can't, just sitting here in Rome, remember any specific cases, but I know that we have done any number of them. And always, I think, with sophistication and success, hopefully.
Well, I hope the success for us.
Well, put it this way: if you agreed to it, it was successful.
But you made us settle.
Oh man! If you knew how many times I've heard that, they made us settle.
Made me settle.
I didn't like him because he made me settle.
Well, listen, Jay, thanks so much for taking the time.
At least I know one thing. At least I know that GE is never going to say, I'm not going to bid against myself.
Well, I hope we get that one out of the room. Or actually, let us know if you hear that one coming from the...
I will. Thank you, Mike.
All right.
You've been listening to International Dispute Negotiation. This podcast is presented by the International Institute for Conflict Prevention and Resolution, CPR. CPR is a membership-based nonprofit organization that promotes excellence and innovation in public and private dispute resolution, providing an international resource for the avoidance, management, and resolution of business disputes. For further information about CPR, or to download archived versions of this podcast, go to www.cpradr.org. Questions about this podcast or the issues discussed can be addressed to idn@cpradr.org. The music of Note Noir is used with permission.